So here we have two types of Plantago. I decided to add Plantago to my skin salve. And why is that? It's because one of the main uses for Plantago is actually with skin that is inflamed, or also with different bites. It's very, very useful and soothing. It's also antibacterial. And in fact, the longer one is Plantago lanceolata is the Latin name, and the wider one is Plantago major. But basically, both of those types of Plantago have very, very similar properties. So like I said, the antibacterial, detoxifying, and they can be used for all sorts of skin issues, including burns, including all sorts of swelling. So for instance, if you twist your ankle or something like that, you can crush fresh Plantago, put it on the swelling. But also, if you have a salve, you can obviously, if it's in your salve, you can use that also. And like I said, it's going to be useful with any insect bites. In addition to that, this plant can be used for upper respiratory tract infections. So both upper respiratory tract infection, but also with any sort of issues in the throat or the mouth, bacterial issues, and also when there is issues around irritation of the stomach lining. So it's quite a versatile plant, but like I said, often there is confusion which one to use. In reality, both of them have got very similar properties. So this next part is pretty simple. So we're going to do it on a really low heat. So what I've got here, I strained my oil now, and what I've got is just over a cup for my American friends, and for my European friends, it's about 240 grams. So this is literally just over a cup of oil in this pan. And in a moment, I'm going to add to it some beeswax and some coconut oil. So really what you're looking at in terms of proportions is that you want roughly 2 ounces of beeswax and 2 ounces of coconut oil for every cup of infused oil that you're going to have. Obviously, this you don't have to be super precise about it. If you want your salve to be super hard, then obviously you would add a little bit more beeswax. If you want it to be softer, then you would use less. But that's roughly the proportions we are talking about. Okay, so now the oil is getting hot. Obviously, this is low heat. We don't bring anything to the boil or anything like that. And so in there, I have, like I said, 2 ounces of coconut oil. I actually put just a tiny bit more because I've got a little bit more oil than 1 cup. And 2 ounces, just a little bit more of beeswax. So as you can see, I've got shavings of beeswax here. You can use beeswax pellets. I would definitely encourage you to source this from your local beekeeper. I just really think we all need to be supporting our local beekeepers. So if you're already doing that, then wonderful. If not, have a look in your area. And obviously, I bought mine in one big block. Like I said, they could come in different forms, but I've got one in one big block. So so therefore, I spent time to do the shavings. So you can see here the shavings, and I'm gonna have to stir this because we have to make sure that it's all nicely melted. So for my European friends or anybody who doesn't use ounces, so that's 2 ounces is about 55 grams. I put about 60 grams in the amount that I have. So let's just give it a stir and see what we get. So I just wanted to reiterate that everything that I use I first treat it with boiling water and I thoroughly dry it, so you do not get any extra moisture, because obviously if you want your salve to last a little bit longer, you don't want any moisture. So just a reminder, the same goes for the jar that I'm going to pour this mixture into after it is fully dissolved. So after just a couple of minutes, even less than that, it looks like this now. There's just few remaining bits to dissolve, and I just turned it off now, and I'll just let it dissolve on its own. And so that's the mixture. That's obviously not the final product because we need to let it set, but that's basically our mixture. And in a moment I'm gonna pour it into a little jar, and then after it has set, it's ready to use. Okay, so this is what we have, 2 jars of a very luscious salve, and I know that because I was obviously removing it from the pot into the jars. And one thing that I would say is that you need to have a lot of paper towels on standby, and in case this is not obvious, just make sure you don't just put your pot afterwards in the dishwasher or even wash it in the sink, because you're going to clog up your drain. So obviously that's where the paper towels will come in handy to just scoop that out of the pot first. I did actually stir the mixture for a little bit, a few more minutes. I kept sort of on and off stirring it before I transferred the mixture into the jars, just to ensure nothing separates and it's just nice and even. And another little tip that you may or may not want to apply is that I actually added, just for extra, just for a little bit of sort of elevate it even further, even though it's a pretty cool mixture, and those plants, as we know already, have a lot of wonderful properties. But I've also added organic essential oils. I've added 5 drops of Roman chamomile and 5 drops of lavender. And if you wanted to, for example, if you obviously could add any oils that you like to this, even to give you a bit of like extra scent when you're using it. And I do actually believe that giving thoughtful gifts is a really wonderful thing to do. Obviously, these are not pretty pots, but if you wanted to give somebody a really wonderful gift, then you could package it in a nicer pot and also add fragrance coming from essential oils, not artificial, but something like, for instance, for ladies, geranium would be nice. My mother, for instance, loves geranium, so if I was to make it for her, geranium also is wonderful for the skin, so that is going to enhance and complement what we already have going on in this mixture. And for men, sandalwood would be a really nice choice. So that's just a few more tips, a few more ideas, but here we have it. We finally got to the final product here. So hope you enjoyed it. Hope you're gonna give it a go, and certainly if you have any other variations on the themes here suggested and you want to share it with others, put in the comments what your experience has been, and perhaps what other versions of this salve you have produced and benefited from. All right, so take care for now. See you in the next one.